In a world of rapid growth and emerging technologies and automation, how are we going to remain relevant and what skills are we going to need to be successful? So this book here looks at ideas. It's actually called Ideas Your Only Currency. So currency refers to your values, so we can view money as currency. So we're going to be living in a world, or we pretty much already do live in a world, where things are becoming automated, and creativity, critical thinking and creating your own ideas is what's going to keep you relevant and get you employed. So this brings me to my next little book, How to Lead a Quest, Dr. Jason Fox. So Dr. Jason Fox in this book goes through how we can go about developing new ideas. So what is a quest? So a quest is a search for an alternative that meets a criterion. So we find that through options, by pioneering. We ensure options are viable by experimenting, and experimenting yields insights. And we also challenge default thinking. Default thinking is just switching on automatic pilot. It's like autoplay on YouTube. You're just following along. So in Dr. Jason Fox's book, How to Lead a Quest, he's got a little bit of a framework in here. And so just to explain this little framework to you, if we look along this line here, this is the horizontal line might look at how we work. So we've got operational down this side. And so that's our default thinking. Everything that we do generally in life is operational. So we learn how to do things and we just we don't think about it, we just do it. And out on this side of the balance, we've got pioneering, which is uncertain. And when we look at this framework here, this quadrant up here is quests, and this one's down here is missions. The other thing that I'd point out is also our vertical tension is in and around thinking and doing. Okay, so that little tension we were just looking at before, we've got our pioneering, uncertain, operational, certain. So if we were to look at our operational, it's well-established work. It's easy to benchmark and easy to measure. On the other hand, over here with pioneering, we've got uncharted, unknown work, no defined goal. We don't know what the goal looks like. We're just looking for viable options or different ways of doing things. So when we look at the little bit of a breakdown here, we've got approximately 20% of our time should be spent pioneering, and 80% of our time is operational. If we spent our whole time pioneering, we would never get anywhere. We would be too busy, it'd be chaos basically. So operational work is definitely needed, and some examples of that might be making a box from plans, playing rugby. Those types of activities have already been defined and set out. We're working towards a goal. Everybody knows the rules and the boundaries. Pioneering, on the other hand, is solving problems for a defined need and carving out your own path. So we're really looking at developing our skills in problem solving, critical thinking, and just taking risk and being comfortable with, ambiguous situations where we may not know what happens. There's no right or wrong. The other tension that we looked at was along the scale of thinking or doing. So are we focused on good thinking or good doing? And we really need to have both of these happening at once. So high stakes work requires more thinking. However, doing is how we get things done. So if we spent all of our time just thinking about a project we were going to start, we would never actually complete that. Whereas if we just rushed into doing, like just went straight into the workshop and started building something, it's got more likelihood of failing because we haven't done the thinking. So that's a balancing act for us as well of how to be successful, looking at diverging between thinking and doing. So that leads us to a quest. What is a quest? So a quest is pioneering and probably in the thinking stage. So a quest is the constant pursuit of betterment, and that's how Dr. Jason Fox refers to it in his book. He talks about creating relevance and meaning and the creation of new enduring values. So that also links back to ideas being your only currency. So in a very automated, fast-moving world, can you come up with new ideas and can you develop the skills to do that? Or are you just interested in, following a line that's already been, or following a path that's already been walked? Once we've got our option, once we've got our quest set out, then we start looking at our options. So our default is options we choose automatically. So earlier on I spoke about default thinking. We want to try and avoid that all the time. So options in the framework is to explore and identify new pathways, identify future options and opportunities for growth. And this leads to how might we. The next little part is to develop some hypotheses. So this is still pioneering and in the thinking stage. So we need to accumulate a portfolio of options and then test to see if they're viable. Generate worthy questions, and that will lead to how might we questions. With our experiments, so now we're moving into the doing phase of the strategy. So testing and determining the viability of different options. Experiments will build momentum in what we're doing, and experiments provide insights and evidence required to make strategic decisions. Experimentation is science. Science equals reasoning, observation, and evidence. So as designers, it's very important that we look at and observe and gather evidence of our target market or our defined audience to see what their needs are, not necessarily what our needs are. That leads us into insights, and insights are operational work. So we've shifted from our thinking and now we're starting to think about operational work. And so we've already looked at our options that have been identified, we've explored them and we've combined them with experiments. And now we have fairly solid viable options for us to move forward. Strategy. Okay, so now we can come up with a strategy for how we're going to move forward. So we need to take time to consider a diverse range of options. What is going to be the best plan for moving forward? And it's also a time too to check our assumptions and biases. And quite often, human nature just lends itself to doing that automatically. So it's really important that we do stop. What are our assumptions and what are our biases? And this is where working in a team is much better than working by yourself. At this point as well, we really need to avoid the too hard basket. I hope this has been helpful. Now that we've been through the definitions of each part, just have a quick look at the quest again. Just to make sure. So really looking at it, we've got quests over here. They're pioneering work. Quests lead to questions. So we're looking at our options. Then we're going to develop hypotheses which lead into our experiments. Insights lead to strategy, which then can make decisions and can link to progress.